Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make chocolate dip peanut butter pretzels. So what you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make this. I mean, it's really easy to do this recipe, but it has such an amazing taste and it's a great thing to have just to snack on for everyday holidays or at a party or whatever. So there's some pretzels, we have some creamy peanut butter, we have some powdered sugar, we have coconut oil, a couple tablespoons of butter, and then we have chocolate. Now I'm using blocks of chocolate. You could use morsels or whatever you want to. I just like using this. This is the kind you get at the grocery store that says almond bark on it. And basically I'm trying to get about a cup's worth out of this. So we're going to start out with the peanut butter ball part that's going to go in the middle of the pretzels. So we're going to start off with our half a cup of creamy peanut butter and get that into a bowl. And then after we get that in there, we are going to use at least 2 tablespoons of softened butter, which means, you know, this could have been sitting out on your counter for a while. You can heat it in a microwave a little bit. Now this is unsalted. So get it in there, mix it in with the peanut butter, and we're going to get this stirred through to where they kind of incorporate a bit before we bring in our powdered sugar, because we want to try and get this all mixed up. So once it's completely done and everything is mixed through there, you are going to need 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. And we're going to take this and mix it in. Now, we're trying to mix this through completely and make it into one big ball of this. If you get to a point where yours is just really super dry and you think it needs a little something else, you can add another tablespoon of butter to it and that might just help. But this is going to be a little stiff when you're mixing it up regardless, because the peanut butter will take on everything we just put in it. But if you have to, add a little bit more butter. That's okay. And then when we get this all mixed together, we're going to roll out balls. Now mind you, this is going to make about 24 of these deals for the pretzels. So what you need is 48 pretzels eventually to make 24 of these little pretzel treat things. So we're going to roll out 24 balls that goes in each of the middles of these. Now, as you're doing this, you're really rolling these out very small. It's just kind of one of those things where you're going to have to do it like, I don't know, maybe as thick as the end of your thumb or something like that. We just want them to be little balls. And as you go along, you're going to see if you have enough of these, because you're going to need about 24 of them. So we're just going to roll these out. Now, if you have some of this mix left over and some of the balls aren't as big as others, you can easily take some of it and roll it in and still extend them out. One thing that is really important when you're doing this is, you know, this might stick to your palms or your hands. You could use some nonstick cooking spray on them, and just that way you've got something on your palms to make sure that it doesn't stick, because I did that right before I was doing this. It just makes it easier and you don't have a big old mess on your hands, except they're a little greasy. But it's easier for you to roll these out. So just keep going until we get this all rolled out. It goes pretty quickly though. It's not really a long process to roll these out. But once we do get all of these balls out and they're all pretty much a uniform shape to where we want to use them, that's where we're going to need at least 48 mini pretzels, because we're going to use those to press on the top and bottom of these balls. So take a pretzel, put the ball on, put another pretzel on top, and then work your fingers around until you squeeze them in. So that way we've gotten them all enclosed. And once you put the pretzels on, they stick to these really well. The only way you're going to knock those pretzels loose is if you like really squeeze it one end, and you really don't want to do that anyway, because you might break a pretzel doing that. But just work your way through, because, you know, I set aside my measuring cup here full of pretzels and I just work my way through it. The thing is with this, just watch and make sure you don't have any broken ones in there, because, you know, you want these all to look really nice, because they do look really nice when these are finished. They really turn out nice, and it's one of these things where it's impressive to put these on a plate or something and offer them up because they look good. So we're going to go ahead and work our way through these, and after we get them all together, we're actually going to start working with our chocolate, because we're going to have to actually heat it up, melt it, and, you know, go through the whole process of getting it ready so we can dip the end of these in it, because the whole thing does not get dipped. If you're doing that, it'd be quite messy, but we're just going to do it like halfway up it, you know, not even that far probably, and just actually get a good coating of chocolate on these. So once they're all done, we're going to go ahead and set them aside, and then we'll actually start cutting up the chocolate. Now, if you're having morsels, you don't have to cut it, but I have the blocks, and it just means I have to cut mine up a bit, so that way, you know, it's easier to put this in the microwave. So I'm just going to take a very large knife and I'm just going to go across the blocks, and these are cold from the refrigerator, so they're kind of stiff, but they cut anyway, and just go across them until they're completely chopped up. Now, when these go in the microwave, they're going to go in there for about 20-second burst, because, do it for like 20 seconds or so, stir it, then hit it another 20 and stir it. It might take almost 2 minutes to actually melt this down, but that's okay. And one thing else that we're going to do to this is we're going to add a tablespoon of coconut oil to the chocolate, because that's going to help it to have a good sheen on the outside of it, but it's actually going to help the chocolate itself be a lot more pleasant to look at, but it gives a little bit of a taste as well. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and chop all of this up and get it ready and into the mixing bowl, and I'm going to put it into the microwave. Now, one thing you need to do with this to make sure is when you're nuking this in the microwave for like 20 seconds at a time, stir it really well and get to the bottom of the container, because you don't want that part down there burning or sitting in one place too long. You want all of this to mix together. So once everything is done, just get it into your cup or whatever you're using, and then we'll go ahead and send this off to the microwave. And like I said, it has a tablespoon of coconut oil going in it, which once you get that inside, you probably need to stir it up a little bit to get that circulated through the whole thing. And then once that's done, we're going to go ahead and pop this in. And like I said, once it gets melted, it looks something like this. Just stir it up right after it's done where you think it's really melted, and then remove the spoon, and then we're going to go ahead and dip these in. Now, the best thing about this is you can do this with your fingers, no muss, no fuss. You're not going to get coated in the chocolate, and you're just going to go through and do this one at a time. Now, there's a bunch of chocolate here. Now, when we get these done, you can go back and double dip if you want to, or if you have a bunch more of these pretzels left, you literally could take just pretzels and put in here and make chocolate covered pretzels to have another extra thing on the side, which is really great, because I did that. Because I have family members that really like chocolate covered pretzels, so I just gave them 2 versions here, because you've got the chocolate, might as well use it. But if you want to double dip, double dip. If you don't want to, then go ahead and just take the regular pretzels and put in there as well. Lay it on some parchment paper, let them cool down, and then you've got chocolate covered pretzels as well. So either way, it's a win-win, because you get really great dessert out of this, whichever way you go. But these are great, and they're very addictive, because you can sit around and eat on these forever. And people in my family did. It's just, grabbing a handful at a time, because they are that good to eat. So this is one of those things where if you like peanut butter, pretzels, chocolate, you're in business, because this is so wonderful to eat. And the best thing about it is it's not hard to make. I mean, it doesn't take a long time to do this. You could literally do this in just less than an hour to go through a whole process of this, and that's the best thing about it. It's really just one of those things where hit it, quit it, and you're done. The longest part is actually mixing up the peanut butter, probably, which is not so bad. But mine look like this on a plate, and I got to tell you, there's a lot of them, and they actually turn out so well that people just want to keep eating them. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out the Southern Mountain Kitchen website, where you can get a free recipe, check out the cookbooks available from the Southern Mountain Kitchen, and if you'd like to, you could order a cookbook at a discounted price, cheaper than Amazon, with shipping that is also cheaper than Amazon. So if you get a chance, check it out, and I hope you have a great day.